Exclamation Plateau.
Hollywood Cemetery is located on the James River in Richmond and is the final resting place of presidents, generals, governors, authors, and many other famous and not so famous people. It opened in 1847 and is one of the oldest cemeteries in Richmond. The name Hollywood doesn't have anything to do with movie stars. It's named after the holly trees that grow there.
Hey boys and girls, here we are at a very special place in Richmond, Hollywood Cemetery.
It's got a beautiful view of the James River right behind us. We're going to take a quick tour to show you some of the historical markers in the cemetery.
Many famous people, presidents and Confederate soldiers, Union soldiers were buried here.
So come along for the ride. Let's go check it.
We'll start our tour of Hollywood Cemetery with the tomb of James Monroe, the 5th President of the United States. He was born right here in Virginia, and he was a governor of Virginia before he became president.
I'm here at Hollywood Cemetery at the burial spot for James Monroe. He was our 5th president, and he was actually an American Revolutionary War soldier. So he fought against England in the Revolutionary War. Next to him is his daughter. His daughter's buried right next to him, along with his wife. And the Virginia Assembly believed that this would be a good spot for James Monroe to spend the rest of his time.
Our next stop is the tomb of President John Tyler, who was also born here in Virginia. And like Monroe, he was governor of Virginia as well.
Hey boys and girls, here we are at the tombstone of President John Tyler. He was our president from 1841 to 1845. Do you know what president he was? Which number? If you said president number 10, you were right. Good job.
Perhaps the most impressive monument in Hollywood Cemetery is the Confederate Pyramid. It's made of granite from the James River. You can even see it from Google Earth if you look carefully enough.
Hey boys and girls, this is Brad. We're here at Hollywood Cemetery, and if you look up here, this huge monument is a monument that represents and remembers all of the Confederate soldiers who died during the Civil War.
Hey boys and girls, Alfonso here at Hollywood Cemetery. We have a special guest. His name is Bill. Bill's going to tell us a little bit about Hollywood Cemetery and the importance of it.
Hollywood Cemetery is an incredible place. There's about 18,000 guys buried right around in here. You see this pyramid right here is 90 feet tall. It's 45 feet square, and it is made, actually it's made hollow so that if it ever collapses, it'll implode upon itself. Now, something fascinating about this pyramid right here that a lot of people don't know is the cornerstone. The cornerstone, which I'm not sure which it is, but we believe it's this stone right here, is actually a time capsule. Hopefully it will never be opened up, but in the time capsule there's a lock of Jefferson Davis's hair, a button from Stonewall Jackson's coat, there's Confederate bonds, Confederate money, there's daguerreotypes or tintypes of the Confederate leaders. There's actually Union bullets that were fired in battle that they collected and put in here. And there is the first Confederate flag made in Richmond.
The pyramid honors the 11,000 unknown soldiers who are buried in Hollywood Cemetery. Many of the soldiers who are known have no tombstone to mark their graves. And that's where Bill comes in. He has a website where people can donate tombstones for these soldiers.
It's www.southernsoldiers.org. You can look it up on the internet. I have people from all over, actually all over the world, believe it or not, that sponsor tombstones for Confederate soldiers. There's thousands of Confederate soldiers here in unmarked graves. I actually do tours here every so often, and people ask me, well, why did they bury them so far apart? And the answer is they didn't. They're buried about every 3 feet apart.
You may have noticed that Confederate tombstones are pointed at the top, not rounded like other soldiers' tombstones. Bill explains why.
You'll see it goes to a peak. If you go to a national cemetery like Arlington or some of the national cemeteries around Richmond, it's beveled. And that's the difference between the Confederate tombstone and the Union tombstone and the the old wives' tale is, it's to keep Yankees from sitting up on top of it. Okay? This particular emblem right here is called the Southern Cross of Honor, and that is only available for Confederate soldiers. In addition to the tombstones, and I would have to tell you, the most beautiful tombstone that's just absolutely incredible is this one right over here on the corner. It's right here. It's to Charles Harris McPhail. What is so important about Charles Harris McPhail is what the words say on that tombstone. And it says, "A devout and humble Christian, a brave and faithful soldier. He here makes his last bivouac with thousands of other martyred sons of the South who sleep around him. Rest on embalmed and sainted dead, dear as the blood he gave. Fear not that impious foot shall tread the herbage of your grave, nor shall your glory be forgot, while fame her record keeps. Our honor points the hallowed spot, where valor proudly sleeps." And so in that's an excerpt from a 1858 poem by Theodore O'Hara. You'll see a lot of imagery. Valor is sleeping here. This is the last bivouac. And a bivouac was a campsite. So if you can see, this is the last bivouac of the sacred Southern dead.
There are many other special graves in Hollywood Cemetery. Near the pyramid is a grave that is guarded by an iron dog. It is for Bernadine Reese, who died of scarlet fever during the Civil War when she was just 3 years old. General Longstreet, who fought in the Battle of Gettysburg, lost 3 of his children in the same scarlet fever epidemic, which struck Richmond in 1862. 1-year-old Mary Ann, 4-year-old James, and 11-year-old Augustus all died within a week. Another tragedy struck the family of Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy. In 1864, his 4-year-old son Joe fell off the porch of their White House. He was the first of his family to be buried in Hollywood Cemetery. Later, his sister Winnie and Jefferson Davis and his wife were buried here. We'll end our tour of Hollywood Cemetery at the Davis family tomb.
Hey boys and girls, this is David and we're here at the last stop of our tour of Hollywood Cemetery. This is President Jefferson Davis. He was the president of the Confederate States, and Richmond was the capital of the Confederate States, and that's why his statue looks out over Richmond.
We've seen some amazing things and learned a lot here at Hollywood Cemetery, but now it's time for the Virginia Trekkers to be on our way. We've been exploring the Piedmont region in these first podcasts. Next stop, the Coastal Plain.